Welcome to this Blackpool Music School video all about the Seagull Godin M4 Dulcimer. This is a 4-string dulcimer. There is a thick string, a thin string and 2 octave strings on the bottom strings. The 2 octave strings are always played together and give a sort of mandolin sound. Now the introductions are out of the way, let's get started. Some people tune this instrument D, A, D. That would be D, the string nearest your chin, A, the middle string, and D, the string nearest the floor. I don't, I tune it to G, the string nearest your chin, D, the middle string, and octave Gs, the string nearest the floor. And that's a G chord. So that's a G like that. So to play along with this video you will need to be tuned G, D, G. So hopefully you're all tuned to G. Now that is a G chord, nothing on, no frets pressed with this hand, just open like that. For the start of this video we will just be strumming down like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going through all the strings to a regular rhythm. So we were counting that 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like I said, this is a G chord. This hand is just supporting the neck, this is the neck, it's doing nothing else. And that's a G chord. To make it a more rounded G chord, we add our ring finger to the 2nd fret. This here is the nut, the one nearest the tuning pegs. This is the 1st, this is the 2nd. So we put our ring finger on the 2nd fret there, just behind it. If you get a sound, you're on the fret, move it back a little, and it should ring clearly. So with our finger in that position, you can hear the difference without the finger, with the finger, without the finger, with the finger. So we'll do 4 without, 4 with, 4 without, 4 with. After 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again. We can also play G in another position. We can play G on the 2nd fret of the thick string there. Again, that's the nut, the one nearest the tuning pegs, 1st, 2nd. So we're putting our ring finger there this time, and we'll just strum down 4. Take it off again, add it, off, so we'll go for that again. 4 without any finger on. We'll add it to the thick G string now. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, add. Add. Off. Add. So now to a regular rhythm. 4 without any finger on, then add the finger. So after 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So when you see a G written in a piece of music, you can do that one, you can play this one, or that one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we're going to do a run through them all, 4 without any finger on. The octave string, the thicker string. So again, none on. So now we'll play that to a regular rhythm. So it's 4 without any finger on, the bottom string 4, and then the top string 4, okay? After 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, you can play G that way. 2nd fret of the octave strings, and then the lower G string. And any of them is valid when you see G written on a piece of music. There is another way to play G on a dulcimer. This is called an arpeggio. An arpeggio means a broken chord. That is a chord. A broken chord roughly means, so a chord is all at the same time, and arpeggio just means one note at a time. So the way we do this on this dulcimer is we go to the 2nd fret, we have the open string, we need the 2nd fret, and then a bit of a stretch to the 4th fret. So you've got open, 2nd, 4th. Open, 2nd, 4th. That would be open, 2nd, 4th. Open, 2nd, 4th. Again, open. I'm strumming through all the strings. 2nd, 4th. Open, 2nd, 4th. Open, 2nd, 4th. Now that we can play open, 2nd, 4th, we will finish this strum off. We go open, 2nd, 4th, 2nd. That's open, 2nd, 4th, 2nd. Open, 2nd, 4th, 2nd. That is open, 2nd, 4th, 2nd, to the count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, to a strum. Open, 2nd, 4th, 2nd, open, to an up and down strum rhythm. That is just simply open, 2nd, 4th, 2nd, open, 2nd, 4th, 2nd. And that is a G arpeggio. So anytime you're playing a G chord, instead of just playing, you can play. going, now we've got that G, this G, the other G, and for that strum, I'm just simply going down 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We'll come to that later on in the video, but with just downstrokes. Due to the way this Merlin Dulcimer is tuned, what I've just shown you on the octave G, you can do on the thicker G string here. So this time it's open on the top string here, second and fourth. Again, open, second, fourth. So if we're just strumming down, open, second, fourth, back to second, open, second, fourth, second. That's open, second, fourth, back to the second, open, second, fourth, second, open, second, fourth, second. It's the same as we did on the octave G, it just gives a different sound, like this. That's on the octave G strings. On the thicker G string, I will now do a bit more rhythm to it and you get this sound. So now we've got that way of playing G, no fingers at all. There, there. And anytime you see a G chord, you can do anything you want that I've just shown you, and it adds a bit of variation to your strum rather than just strumming G all the time. And of course you can mix these up in the same pattern. You can do 2 on open, 2 on the second, so you can go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So for a count of 4, the first 2 are open. Count 3 and 4 we'll put there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or you can do it 3 then 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or this G instead. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or mix it up, 2, 1 on the octave G's, 1 on the low G. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we've got 3 or 4 G chords, we will mix them up a little bit. So we'll do 2 on the open, 2 on the high G strings, to the count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. This time they will go on the low G at the second fret. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And of course, you can do everything in between. So 2 on the open, 1 on the low G, 1 on the high G. So that's open, the G chord at the second fret of the low G, then second fret of the high G. reverse. So anytime you see a G chord, you can really vary it up, and it makes it a bit more musically interesting for the listener. Due to the way this instrument is tuned and the fret spacing the way it is on this instrument, you cannot play a wrong note in the key of G. So that's a G chord. Whichever fret you put a finger on, you can't play a wrong note. Some notes sound better than others, but you won't be out of tune. So for this little exercise, we're going to use our first and second fingers, or first and ring. It might be easier. It's a stretch. If you can stretch like that, that's fine. If you can't, use your ring. So we're using that note, and the open string. You can do it that way, or you can do it that way. The choice is yours. So we're going to go open, first, second, first, open. Open, first, second, first, open. Or this time we'll do open, 2, 3. Open string, second fret, third fret. Open, second, third, second. Or we can do all them 3. Open, first, second, third, second, first, open. So when you're playing a G chord, you can play whichever fret you want on the high G, the low G, even the D string with a G chord, and you won't be out of tune. Like I said previously, some notes sound better than others, but you won't be out of tune. So to practice this, just strum down like this. That's third, first, fourth, second, fourth, second, then third, first, third, first, third, first, and just play around. So just get that hand strumming down. And just play the notes. This time I'll do it on the low G. Second, first, open, fourth, second, third, first, open. So whatever you play, you will always be in tune in the key of G. To play a song, you at least need 2 chords. We've got G, and now we need a D chord. A D chord is the first finger on the first fret of the low G and your second finger on the first fret of the high G. So first finger, first fret of the low G, second finger, second fret of the high G. And that is a D chord. Off, D chord. So this time we're going to practice changing between the two. We'll just do it with the open string for the easiest. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's your G chord. Add that first and second finger. So G. 1, 2, 3, 4. G. D. G. G, D, G, D, G, D. So the D chord is the first fret of the thick G string and the first fret of the high G, remembering to push both of them strings down. So open G, D, G, D, G, D, G, D, G, D. Now we'll pick the pace up a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. G, D, So now we have the G chord and the D chord. We need one more chord to play some songs. This is the C chord. It's the first fret. Remember, this is the nut, the one nearest the tuning pegs. The first fret of the D string and the third fret of the octave G strings. And that is your C chord. First fret of the D string, third fret of the octave Gs. So holding that in position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Again, first fret, remember this one there in the tuning pegs is the nut. First fret, the D string, third fret of the octave G strings, and that is your C chord. So now we've got 3 chords, let's play some 12-bar blues. So for this we were just strumming down 4 strums to the bar. I will write the chord progression down below. For each letter, just remember it's 4 strums. So in the 12-bar blues in G, we have 4 bars of G. For this, we'll just use no hands for the G chord. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, first bar, second bar, third bar, fourth bar, 2 bars of C, first bar, second bar, back to G, another bar of G, 1 bar of D, 1 bar of C, 2 bars of G, another bar of G. So now we've had a run through the 12-bar blues, we will do it again, this time without pausing in between. So after 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, G, first bar, second bar, third bar, fourth bar C, first bar, second bar back to G, D, C, G, again G, 4 bars, first, second, third, fourth to C, back to G, D, C, back to G. Now we can strum through the 12-bar blues. We will add a bit more to the strumming pattern. Instead of going down all the time, we're now going to strum up. So it's the same 1, 2, 3, 4 for the downstrokes, but in the gap in between we're going to strum up, so it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So it's still the same rhythm, 1, 2, 3, 4, but in the gaps in between the downstrokes we're going to strum upwards. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... That would be to one letter. So again, the letters down below, each letter is now 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So we will have a run through of the 12 bar blues this way, very slowly at first. 4 bars of G, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... First bar. Second bar. Third bar. Fourth bar, 2 bars of C. Two bars of G. One bar of D. One bar of C. 2 bars of G. So we'll go for that again. 4 bars of G. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and first. Second. Third. 2 bars of C. Back to G. One bar of D. One bar of C. 2 bars of G. So now we've had a slow walk through that 12 bar blues, let's play it this time with a bit more pace. So after 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, G, 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 C, back to G, D, C, back to G, again G, 1, 2, 3, 4, C, finish the 12 bar blues off when you've played your last G chord, D chord, and it just finishes the song off nicely. So now we've had a run through of the 12 bar blues, we can add a little bit more to the G chord rather than just strumming. We can do the arpeggio instead. The C chord, back to the arpeggio, D, C, G. So I'll run through that again very briefly. You remember the arpeggio? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's open, 2nd fret, 4th fret, back to 2nd. that would be 1 bar. So 1 bar in the 12 bar blues would be. Repeat again for the second. Repeat again for the third. Repeat again for the fourth. Go to a C chord. Back to G. Repeat G. D. C. G. So now we've had a run through that 12 bar blues, I will now show you it applied in song format without any gaps in between. So it will go something like this. You don't have to do the arpeggio if you don't want to. You can simply bounce off and on the second fret. Remember, this is the note first, second, like this. So you do G like that, add that G, off, add. So 1 bar will be. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So the first 4 bars of the 12 bar blues will be. First bar, second bar, third bar. C will be played the same, just normal C chord, 2 bars, then back to G. So applying to the 12 bar blues, that would sound like this. There is one more thing we can add to the 12 bar blues to make it sound a bit more interesting for the listener, and this is on the D chord. The D chord is at the first fret, as you know. Remember, this is the nut, this is the first fret. So you would strum 1 and 2 and with your fingers there. You would slide it up to the second fret for the count of 3 and, then back to the first fret for 4 and. It would sound like this. So in the context of the 12-bar blues, it would sound something like this. As you can see, it just adds a bit more to the strum rather than just going. So it's just 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Now let's talk about strums. For most of this video we've been strumming 1, 2, 3, 4 or 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That's either been 1, 2, 3, 4 or 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. But you don't have to do that, you can do any variation you wish. All that matters is you keep the pulse or the beat of the music going. So for this instance we're going to be on a G chord. We're going to be using that G chord. And we're going to be going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So for the first bar, second bar. Now they both last the same length of time, we're just fitting an upstroke in the gaps in between the down strums. So with me, 1, 2, So you can vary the strums up in a song. All that matters is you keep a constant pattern, meaning you do all the verses the same way and all the choruses the same way. Don't start changing your strum for different verses. It just makes it easier for the listener to follow along. But we'll now move on to some more complicated strums. You don't have to do a bar of each, you can do half a bar. So in this case we'll do 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and G chord with the left hand. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 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 1, 2, 3 and 4 and... You don't have to split it evenly, you can do 3 down strokes and a down up. Or the other way around. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4. Or one of each. 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and... So basically, you just count to 4. There are other strums, I will come to them in other videos, but for now, we'll count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So experiment with strums. All you need to do is be able to count to 4 in regular time. An experiment so you can have 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2 and 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3 and 4, or 1, instance it was 1 and 2 and 3, 4. So really just practice around strumming, and by doing this you will hear various rhythms you've heard in songs. Well, I hope you found that video useful. This was just a beginner's guide and lesson to the Godin Seagull M4 Dulcimer. As you can see, it's a very small instrument that can easily be carried with you wherever you go, and does sound very loud for its small size. So until next time, take care, keep playing, and goodbye. Welcome to this Blackpool Music School video all about the Seagull Godin M4 Spruce Dulcimer. To play along with this lesson you will need a Seagull Dulcimer, the M4 version, tuned to G. That is G, string nearest your chin, D, the middle string, and octave Gs, the strings nearest the floor. This dulcimer is tuned to G. It could be tuned to D or it could be tuned to another key, but for the sake of argument this is tuned to G. People often say you can only play in the key of G because it's tuned to G. There are about 4 or 5 other keys you can play on without retuning the dulcimer. Now I'm going to say this, it's mainly rock, pop and 1950s and 60s songs. Some more complicated songs you can't, but if you're talking 3-chord songs you certainly can. And in this video we're going to cover the key of D. So let's get started. For this video you will need a D chord. If you've watched the previous lesson 1, you will see a D chord is played the same way. First fret of the low and high G. The next chord we need is a G. You can either do it open like that, second fret on the high G or second fret on the low G. The choice is yours. The next chord we need is an A chord. This is the first fret pressing down on all 3 strings. So you've got a D chord, a G chord, an A chord. So if you've seen lesson 1, you know your D and you know your G. And the A chord is that one, all 3 fingers at the first fret pressing down. I do it this way, some people bar and do it that way, using one finger all the way across the strings to press down. The choice is yours. So you've got a D, a G and an A. So now we'll apply that to the 12-bar blues. I will write the chords down below. So this time it's 4 bars of D. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and first bar, second bar, third bar, fourth bar, G chord, 2 bars, another bar, back to D, D again, A, 1 bar, G, 1 bar, D, 2 bars. So we'll go for that again. The chord of D, 4 bars, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and G, 2 bars. D, 2 bars. 1 bar of A, 1 bar of G, 2 bars of D. So now we'll play the 12 bar blues at a bit more pace. 4 bars of D. Like the previous videos, my right hand is just moving 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so you're counting to 4 with downstrokes and in between you're doing an upstroke. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So, on a D chord, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... That's always strumming. But on the previous video we moved the D, and in this video we can the same. So we go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... That's now 1 bar. That's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Repeat. 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 G chord, 2 bars. D again. A. G. D. Like the previous video, we can finger lift on the G chord. That's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... I'm moving my hands out the way so you can see. In reality, you just got to lift them off a little bit. So the 12 bar blues in the key of D can now sound a bit more interesting for the listener. So if I walk through that slowly, it is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... You repeat that 4 times for the 4 bars of D. For G, twice, then back to D. Repeat. 1 bar of A, 1 bar of G, 1 bar of D. Now I will perform that song with all the extra bits added. finish the blues off properly after the last bar of D, A chord, then D. As you can see, it's relatively easy to play in the key of D on a G-tuned Seagull Godin Dulcimer. But there's another place you can play these chords, and we'll cover this now. This will lead on to the other lessons that follow. So, as you know, that's your D chord there. There is another place to play the D chord, and it's there at the 4th fret. So remember, this one nearest the tuning pegs is the nut. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you put all 3 fingers in that gap, that's a D chord. Or you can play it that way with 1 finger, the choice is yours. Just remember, it's the 4th fret. That's the nut, the one nearest to tuning pegs. 1, 2, 3, 4. So instead of playing a D chord here, you can play it here as well. But you can vary them, so you can go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. A bit like in lesson 1 where we were changing the G chord around. This time we're doing it with D. So D in that position. 1st fret of the high and low G. Then all strings at the 4th fret. Now to change between the two just takes practice, but what you can't do is this. I'm going to over exaggerate this to show you what I mean. When you change, you must do it within the beats. The way I do this is, when I'm playing D like that, I keep this finger on, simply slide it down, then add the others. So when I'm playing D this way, I keep this finger on the low G, slide it up to the 4th fret, then add the others. So you got D, 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 D. So to move back to the 12 bar blues for a moment, you can do 1 bar here. That is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and next bar. So in the first 4 bars of that on the chord of D, the 1st bar, slide up for the 2nd bar, back to D in normal position, so if we apply that to the 12 bar blues, it would sound a little bit like this. So what I did there was, in the first 4 bars, 1 bar of D there, the 2nd bar there, the 3rd bar there, the 4th bar back there, then G, and so on through the chord progression. And as you can hear, it just makes it a little bit more interesting for the listener. Well, I hope you found that video useful on the M4 Seagull Godin Dulcimer. If you have, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Blackpool Music School for more videos. I'll be posting more videos on this instrument as well as cigar box guitars and many others in the weeks to come. So until next time, keep playing, keep practicing, and goodbye. Welcome to this Blackpool Music School video all about the Godin Seagull M4 Spruce Dulcimer. To play along with this video you will need one of these or the mahogany version and tuned to G. That's G, the string nearest your chin, the low G, D, the middle string, and the octave pairs of strings, G, the strings nearest the floor. That's G, D, G. Although this dulcimer is tuned to G, it could be tuned to D or any number of keys. But people often say because it's tuned to G or whatever key it is, that's the only key you can play in. It is limited, I will be honest, but you can play in a few more keys other than that one. And in this video, we'll be learning how to play in the key of E on a G-tuned dulcimer. So let's get started. For this we will need to know one chord shape and move it up and down the neck. Now this chord shape you can either use one finger to play it or three. The choice is up to you. So let's get started. We need an E chord and that is all three fingers at the 5th fret. Remember this one here, the one nearest the nut, the one nearest the tuning peg I should say, is the nut. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these three fingers have to go before that 5th fret. That is an E chord. Some people will play it like that with one finger. The choice is yours, it's whichever one you find easiest. Personally, I prefer three fingers to play that chord. So we've got an E like that. So that is your E chord. So E at the 5th fret, like that, or like that. To play the A chord, we simply keep this chord shape and move it all the way back to the 1st fret, like that. So we were here at the 5th, you simply slide it back to the 1st, and that is your A chord. So we've got E, and just move it back to there. Or with one finger. I know I'm pulling funny hand shapes, I'm trying to let you see my fingers, but in reality my fingers will just be sat on like that. So E, 1st fret. That's A. 5th, E, A. So you can either do it that way at the 5th, and slide back to the 1st, or that way at the 5th, and slide back to the 1st. The choice is yours. Now we have an A chord, we need one more chord to play a 12-bar blues progression, and that is a B chord. And for this, we're at A there, you simply slide that chord shape up to the 2nd fret. So your A is there at the 1st, slide it up 1 fret for the B. Or if you play A that way, just slide it up 1 fret for the B. I will put all these chords and descriptions where they are in the link down below. So basically you've got an E, echo, at the 5th. At the 1st you've got an alpha, and at the 2nd you've got B for Bravo. So again, echo, E chord at the 5th. A chord, alpha at the 1st, and B chord, Bravo at the 2nd. So as you can see, you're just moving that shape up and down the neck. Whichever one you want, either three fingers or the 1st finger, it's up to you. So now we know the chords will run through the 12-bar blues progression. So it'll be 4 bars at the 5th fret on E. For this, I'm just strumming down. 1, 2, 3, 4, First bar. Second bar. Third bar. Fourth bar, slide up to the first, 2 bars. Another bar. Back to the fifth. One at B at the second. One at A at the first. Then back to the fifth for 2 bars. So now we know the chord positions, let's do it with a bit more pace. 1, 2, 3, 4. To finish the 12 bar blues off properly, after your last bar of E, go to the B, 1 strum, back to the fifth 3. Thank you for watching this Blackpool Music School video all about how to play on the key of E on a G-tuned dulcimer. If you found this video useful, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Blackpool Music School's channel for more videos. You can find us on Twitter and Facebook and our webpage address in the link down below. So until next time, take care and I'll see you again. Goodbye. Hello and welcome to this Blackpool Music School video all about the M4 Seagull Godin Dulcimer. This is the Spruce version. To take part in this lesson you will need an instrument with similar fret spacings as these. Not all dulcimers use the same fret spacing, some have more, some have fewer. So for this lesson you will need one spaced like that and tuned to G, string nearest your chin, D, and octave Gs, the strings nearest the floor. So that's G, D, G, strings nearest the floor. This dulcimer is tuned to G, but it could be tuned to D or any other key. But people often say if it's tuned to G or whatever key, it can only play in that key. That's not really true. You can play in other keys. You are a bit limited. You can play 3-chord pop and rock songs, but you can play in other keys without retuning. And in this video, we'll be playing in the key of A. That's alpha A. For this video, we will need the A chord shape, the one we used in the how to play in the key of E video. This is the A chord shape. It's the 3 fingers at the first fret. This one here, the one nearest the tuning pegs, is the nut. This is the first fret. You can either play it that way or that way with 3 fingers. I will be playing it this way. If you wish to play it that way, you can do. That is your A chord. So that's that shape, or that shape at the first fret is your A chord. That's alpha A. The next chord we need is a D chord. Now you know a D chord is there. And if you're playing A, you can simply lift that middle finger off and that's your D chord. So you play A like that, you can lift it off like that, and that is a D chord. But in this case we're going to be sliding down to the 4th fret. Remember, nut, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. So you take your fingers there and you slide them down to the 4th fret, and that is your D chord. So 1st fret, A, alpha. 4th fret, D, delta. Alpha. 4th fret, D, delta. So alpha is there at the 1st, slide it down to the 4th for your D delta chord, or first finger, alpha, slide it down to the 4th, delta. So we'll just strum 4 alpha, 4 delta. We need one more chord to be able to play a song in the key of A, and that is the E chord. So you're at the 4th for your delta. For echo, E, you slide just up to the 5th. So you've got alpha at the 1st, that's the A chord, delta, D chord at the 4th, and echo, E chord at the 5th. So, if we were to play a song A, say D next, then E next, then back to alpha. So A is at the 1st, you keep that chord shape, slide it up to the 4th, that's D, one more, that's E. So alpha, the A chord is at the 1st, delta, the D chord is at the 4th, and echo, the E chord is at the 5th. I will write all these chords and descriptions and placements in the link down below. So to play the 12-bar blues, I'll write the description like I always say in the link down below. There's 4 bars of A. First bar, second bar, third bar, fourth bar, up to the 4th for 2 bars. Back to the 1st for 2 bars. 5th for 1 bar, 4th for 1 bar, A first for 2 bars. Now we've had a run through of the 12-bar blues, we'll play it with a bit more swing, like I always say. So A chord, we're doing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and for each letter down below. So it's first bar, second bar, third bar, fourth bar, back to the 1st. Up to the 5th for 1 bar, 4th for 1 bar, back to the 1st for 2 bars. So we'll go for that again. A, 1st fret for 4 bars. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 4th fret, back to A, 5th, 4th, A, 1st. To finish the 12-bar blues, after you've played your last bar of A, up to the 5th fret, 1 strum, then 1st fret to finish. So it's 5th, 1st to finish. So we've had a run through of the 12-bar blues in the key of A. Now obviously we're going just very slowly. Due to the way this is tuned, with these frets the way they are, there's not a lot you can particularly do in the key of A on this instrument. We will come on to that in later videos, but for now, all you need to know is the 1st fret is the A, the 4th fret is the D, and the 5th fret is the E, or alpha, delta, echo, in case you can't pick up A, D and E. So really now we've just got to get the strum up to speed. So after 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Always remember, after you finish the 12 bar blues, 5th fret for the E, for the echo, back to the 1st fret to finish the song. Thank you for watching this Blackpool Music School video all about playing in the key of A on a G-tuned dulcimer. I hope you found it useful. If you have, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos. Until next time, take care and goodbye. Welcome to this Blackpool Music School video all about the Seagull Godin M4 Spruce Dulcimer. For this particular lesson you will need a fretboard laid out the same as this. I'll explain why in the actual video, but this is how to play in the key of B when you are tuned to G. As we are playing in the key of B, the most common chord we'll use is of course the B chord. This is located at the 2nd fret. Remember, this one nearest the tuning pegs is the nut 1, 2. So it's just behind that 2nd fret. That is your B chord. I play it like that. Some people play it like that. It's up to you, it really is your choice, whichever one you find easiest. So B chord, or that way, that way, or that way. So in the key of B, the first 4 bars are in B, so we'll strum them now. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. So to recap, the first 4 bars in the key of the 12 bar blues in the key of B is 4 bars of B, which we've just played. Next you've got an E, which is at the 5th fret, which we've used in previous songs. So the next 2 bars are at the 5th fret. Then you slide back to the 2nd fret. So the B for Bravo is at the 2nd fret. The E for Echo is at the 5th. So if we were to play the first 8 bars in the key of B in the 12 bar blues, will be 4 bars of B. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th up to the 5th fret for the E. Back to B for 2 more bars. The final chord we need is F sharp. Now, due to the way this is spaced out the frets, we have an F sharp. The gap between these two here, on most dulcimers, or some I should say, there's another fret there, but we don't have that problem. So for the F sharp, you simply slide up to the 6th fret. So F for Foxtrot, sharp, is at the 6th fret. So we've got 2nd fret, 5th fret, and 6th fret. Like I said, on some dulcimers there'll be another fret between them two. So we'll walk through that very slowly. So the B is at the 2nd, the E is at the 5th, and the F sharp is at the 6th. So again, B is at the 2nd, E is at the 5th, F sharp is at the 6th. Again, I will write all these down in the description below. So we'll now have a run through of the 12-bar blues. So in the key of B, there are 4 bars of B to start with. I'll just strum down for this one. Up to the 5th fret, E for 2 bars. Back to B for 2 bars. The 6th fret for Foxtrot sharp, 1 bar. Echo at the 5th, and Bravo at the 2nd. So to go for that again, we've got 4 bars of B at the 2nd fret. 2 bars of echo at the 5th fret. Back to the 2nd fret, B for 2 bars. F sharp at the 6th, 1 bar. Echo at the 5th, 1 bar. Back to Bravo at the 2nd fret for 2 bars. So with a bit of rhythm, it can sound like this. Finish a song in the key of B, you play the B after you finish the last B chord, you go up to the 6th fret for the F sharp, then back to the B. So when you've finished your last B chord, you go B. So we'll do that last 4 bars. So it's a bar of F sharp, bar of E, 2 bars of B. And that's how you finish a song in the key of B. So, as you can see, we've just played in the key of B on this G-tuned dulcimer. In this short series of 5 videos, we've now covered 5 keys. There'll be more videos to follow in the following weeks. So I hope you've enjoyed this series. If you have, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Blackpool Music School to be kept up to date with all the latest videos. To follow us on Twitter and Facebook, the links are down below. And of course, you can check us out on our webpage. Until next time, take care, thank you for watching, and goodbye.